So the Pelicans fired David Griffin and hired Joe Dumars, and supposedly they are instructing him to trade Zion Williamson. Now, my question to you guys is, let's say the Sixers on lottery night end up with a pick, but it's not number one. Would you trade Paul George and that pick 2 through 6, whatever it is, for Zion? Now, I feel like this would be a hard sell for most Sixer fans after experiencing Joel Embiid. Most likely a lot of you are going to say no because it's basically signing up for another injury-prone player, and I don't disagree with that. If that's enough for you to say no, that is fair. However, I would take the risk. Why, you ask? Well, outside of Cooper Flagg, who's going to be the number 1 overall pick, I don't really see a guy in this draft class that has the ceiling of Zion. I see star players, but Zion is a superstar when he's healthy. He's still only 24 years old, very, very young. Hopefully he matures. He lost a ton of weight this season, performed very, very well in the games he played, looked like one of the best players in the league, 24.6 points per game while shooting 56% from the field. I think he would have played more games as well if they weren't tanking. He played 70 games in 2024. A lot of people forget. I look at New Orleans as a poverty team, just like the Sixers, so maybe that's a sign do not take a chance on him. However, Anthony Davis, he leaves. All of a sudden, he can stay healthy to make a run in the playoffs with the Lakers. Their whole entire team has been injured for like 5 straight seasons. My goodness, that team is cursed. Maybe it's them, but honestly, maybe they're just like us. However, but overall, I think he would give me hope. I'd be excited for the Sixers again because he fits with Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey's timeline. He's very fun to watch when healthy. And honestly, it's sad to say, but the Sixers put themselves in a position where a risk like this is needed. And guess what? It doesn't work out. You just don't offer him a contract after it expires in 2027. But realistically, the Sixers should not have a chance to trade for a player of Zion's talent level without giving up Maxey or McCain. But the fact that Zion has these issues, the reason why some of you are saying no, it gives the Sixers an opportunity to trade for Zion without giving up much besides that pick. Obviously, that pick is very, very valuable. But overall, I don't believe other teams will be offering the world for Zion. They're not going to get the usual trade package that you get for that type of talent. So the Sixers could immediately beat other teams' offer if they are willing to give up their pick. And young teams that have had success and are looking for number 1 or number 2 options like the Rockets or the Pistons, they may not want to take that risk because they are not in a position to do that. They're fine. They're in a good spot. Meanwhile, you look at the Sixers and the Heat, they're kind of desperate. The Sixers need to find that guy after Joel Embiid because guess what? Whenever Joel Embiid's not in the lineup, they can't win games. And as I was saying earlier, this is what a Rockets fan posted. Zion is owed about $40 million a year until 2028 and played 29 games in 2023 and 30 games in 2025, 70 in 2024. He's one of the best players in the league when he's healthy. I'm just not sure I'm ready for the Rockets to make that gamble, given how good we've been this season and how much the future could be derailed if we trade for a guy who's getting paid that much money to not play basketball games. My thing is, we trade Paul George. He wasn't playing basketball games to begin with either. And also when he did play, he wasn't really performing and it wasn't resulting in anything special. So I'm really willing to take that risk. I just don't see a guy in the draft outside of Cooper Flagg with the potential of Zion. I really don't. Let me know your thoughts below. Would you be willing to trade for Zion Williamson?